This is Coogan Cassius for... Well, it's not I Film London, really, is it? It's like LA now, isn't it? It's like...
What sort of hotel room you in? I can imagine it, a right seedy motel.
Maybe I'm not... Ed, maybe I'm not in a hotel.
Haribo's. Or maybe you're just on a payphone outside a gas station.
Hey, maybe I'm not in a hotel or a motel. Who knows where I am?
Maybe you're in Michelle Phelps' spare room.
Maybe I'm not.
You'd love to be though, son.
No. Listen, I'm here in LA, right? And obviously I watched all the videos from the whole press yesterday, which was brilliant. Credit to James Helder yesterday. All this Froch stuff, it's gone mad, because like, I watched a link that Froch, someone posted to me from the Sky Sports interview, where Froch is basically saying that the Chavez deal was nailed on, and then a day later, I'm obviously reading here that from a statement from Carl Froch via Metrum, that an offer was made to George Groves. So why is that two different things being said in 2 different days?
There's a lot of things being said at the moment, with a lot of egos and stubbornness and all sorts floating around. The truth of the matter is we're in discussions with HBO and Top Rank regarding the Chavez fight, and we made George Groves an offer yesterday, which was rejected. And that's really all there is. I mean, you know, Froch will get a lot of people say, oh, you don't want to fight George Groves. It's not a problem with him fighting George Groves. People should know that by now about Carl Froch. But he does like the Chavez fight, and that is a huge fight. Appreciate in the UK the Groves fight is much bigger, but outside of the UK, the Chavez fight is much bigger. But, you know, I'm trying to make the Froch Groves fight, and it's one that I want to make, and we made an offer that I thought was respectable and, you know, obviously a lot more than last time, and etc. But it was rejected. It doesn't mean to say the fight won't be made, but I think people should know that, you know, Froch is up for the fight, and so are we, and we're trying to get there, and we may well get there.
Why did George Groves reject the offer?
Because he thinks he should get more.
Right. Is that the only reason? Is it just a sole split purse thing?
That's the sole reason. Yeah, that's the sole reason. I mean, you know, I can't speak for George Groves, but I know what he's asked for, and it's not acceptable in our opinion. So this is all standard procedure, and obviously you're going to get people. I mean, the amount of tweets I've had from people who all of a sudden are promoters and financial experts and strategists and negotiators is unbelievable. I mean, some of these people, you should send them out to work with the MI5, you know, some of those negotiation situations. But the bottom line is we know what we're doing, and I think we'll get there. But we made an offer that has taken some time to come up with, and it was rejected pretty much instantly. So, you know, there's 2 sides to every story. Groves sees his value in the fight differently than Froch, but you know, everyone's got different opinions, haven't they? So
if you've made George an offer as a starting offer, am I assuming that the starting offer isn't necessarily the offer that will be the final offer?
No, I don't think this was. I mean, there's been a lot of conversations, and this wasn't really a starting offer because it's more than was first anticipated that wanted to be offered by Froch. I mean, don't forget, Froch is owning the show here, and I'm the promoter. So, you know, I felt that it was you know, it's a guarantee and a split. So it's a guarantee with an upside, and the upside, you know, just on a conservative budget is easily more than 2 times what he made last time. So, and the split is obviously more than he got last time as well. So, you know, you're going to get people who don't understand the boxing business saying, oh, it should be 60-40. It shouldn't be. I mean, I'm sorry, but I understand George brings a lot to the fight, and nothing's changed. I hope we still get it made.
Are you going to increase the offer then?
I don't know at this stage. I mean, you know, the Chavez numbers are starting to come in, and you know, it's going to be a big fight. I don't know. I mean,
Ed,
it might be something that in time Froch goes, you know what, look, this is going nowhere. Let's just go and fight Chavez. You know, and maybe we'll fight Groves later in the year. I don't know. I mean, but it seems to be a whole big palaver at the moment, which is quite draining. You know, like Froch and it don't really matter for me, but it's like you get to a stage where George wants to fight so badly, everything's I'll rematch with, and then all of a sudden you get a big offer, and it's immediately dismissed. So, I'm not blaming him for that because he's got a number in his head that he thinks he should get. But if it's that or losing the fight, then
Ed, on the Sky Sports News, Froch said that the fight the fans want is him versus Chavez Jr. Do you really believe that they want?
Sometimes he doesn't explain himself too well. Trust me when I say that the Froch hardcore fans want to go to Vegas for the Chavez fight.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was trying to get at.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I don't think that if you took the whole of the UK and said, what fight do you want? We know the answer. But a lot of the responses that we've had from his long-term fans want to see him fight Chavez, mainly because they want to go to Vegas for a huge fight. But you've got to understand, for a pay-per-view fight on HBO, you've got to look at the 24/7s, the national campaigns in America. I mean, this is like, you don't get many opportunities to raise your profile globally like that. But of course, we live in Britain, and we do have an obligation to keep our own people happy. So that's why we're in for the Groves fight, and it is still the fight that provides the most money. That gap's closing all the time, and the more George Groves wants, that gap may diminish. So the reason to fight George Groves is for a little bit more money and to keep the British public happy. But you've also got to keep Carl Froch happy. And put him in fights that motivate him. Put him in fights that really make him, think, oh wow, walking down the strip in Vegas and placards and billboards everywhere, 24/7 episodes running all over America. I mean, I can see an argument both sides, and I can see people's frustration. And this is, this is the hottest talking point I've seen probably since I've been in the game. And we're at a moment where we're on the crest of a wave in British boxing. I'm telling you, every show we're going on sale with, the tickets are flying. There's a real big interest in boxing again. So that's another reason why I want to make the fight, because I think it'll do big things for British boxing. But, sometimes you can make fights, sometimes you can't. It takes two to tango. And, you can't say Fox doesn't want it, because we're there, we're ready. I'm ready to go.
Have you put a cut-off point on this whole Froch Grove situation that it needs to be done by a certain time, otherwise it won't definitely happen? Or will happen? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. Can I call you back in 5 minutes? Or call me back in 5 minutes?
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
Right, back on the phone. I've got Eddie Hearn. You just went off the phone then. What just happened?
It's like you couldn't make it up because the IBS called in for the rematch now. Unfortunately, I mean, the good news is that hopefully that'll make the fight more likely to happen, but the bad news is the split is 85-15. The rules within the IBF are that the champion, the split for the champion is 85% to 15% to those rated below number 3. I think George is 5 or 6. So, and obviously we've just offered him 25% yesterday. So it's all going round in circles. God knows what's going to happen now. But again, hopefully we get there. It doesn't change too much because we've still got two options, Chavez or Groves. But obviously if we fight Chavez now, it's with one belt. So hopefully, like I said from the start, everyone wants the Froch Groves fight, and hopefully it can still get there, even though it's caused a little bit of a spanner in the works, maybe.
Right, okay, so just to clarify, obviously, yesterday George Groves is offered 75-25, which he declined. Today, just in this space now that you've been gone, which has been about half hour, 45 minutes, the IBF have basically said the rematch has to happen and the split must be 85-15. So no negotiations on the split.
What happens now is the IBF will rule on the split. It's 75-25 for number one or number one challenger. For the first fight, it was 85-15. So obviously this is a rematch of that first fight, and Groves is ranked 5 or 6 again. So we've just had confirmation from the IBF lawyer of the rules. So yeah, 85-15 the split. So at the end of the day, I think everyone just wants the fight to happen, the money. Everyone wants to get the best deal they can, and this might affect a little bit of the negotiations. But now at least there's a ruling that must happen for the IBF. So still a couple of options for us, but I'm hopeful that we can make the fight happen from the start. So, like I said, I always believe we'll get there, and hopefully we can.
Eddie, what would have happened yesterday if George had accepted the 75-25 split? Where would you be left with now? Would the IBF have still ordered a rematch?
We would have overpaid it.
No, but what I'm saying is, would the IBF have still insisted, or would they feel like that?
We would have gone, no, because the decision was coming. I think it was due on Saturday or something, but they've made it today. But we would have gone to the IBF and say we've agreed a deal. Obviously now the split is 85-15. The initial offer doesn't really look, it looks much too high. But again, I'm not, I just want to get the fight. So hopefully now George can sit down and, we can talk to Carl and we can find some common ground. Like I said, I always believe we'll get there, and I still do.
So this fight,
drama after drama, it just keeps making the fight bigger and bigger.
This fight, just again to clarify, this is the next fight. It's an immediate rematch. It has to be their next fight, or Carl vacates the IBF.
The IBF, yeah.
So what's the chances of that happening? Of Carl thinking, I don't want to fight George?
It doesn't really matter. Look, we value the IBF belt, of course, but we value the WBA belt. But the most important thing is the financial outlook and the fight that Carl Froch wants. And if that's Chavez, on both of those terms, if the money's similar to Groves and it is a fight he wants, I've stated it from the outset, then I don't think he'd have a huge problem vacating the IBF belt and maybe fighting Groves next for or two. But the favourite is the Groves fight, in my opinion, and this sort of helps everyone get together and try and make it happen. The split being the interesting thing now, probably, and it's just another turn. It's another twist.
So, like I said, financially, obviously, this is going to benefit Froch more than it is Groves, but
yeah, who knows? Because we could come up with a deal to keep everyone happy, but it does add another element to the negotiations, if you like. So we'll see.
Have you spoke to George today?
Yeah, I've spoke to him today a couple of times. Yeah. He wants to fight. Of course, he wants to fight. He sees his value in the fight, and he has got a lot of value in the fight. But so Carl Froch is the champion, and without him, there's no fight. But without George, there's no fight. And like I said, normally these percentages set the bar for negotiations. So we always knew that 75-25 is the best ever split mandatory could get a number one challenger, which George isn't and won't be. So that's what we offered, which I felt was a good deal, and a minimum guarantee as well, 7 figures. So now it's 85-15. It's very, very different. But I'm not suddenly willing to go and looking to go and play hardball. We want to make the fight, so we've got to do whatever we've got to do to keep both guys happy.
What? I mean, I didn't go too much into it, but what's George's response been to an 85-15 split?
That's not even. I don't think he wouldn't even entertain that. But that's what it is. And if it went to purse bids, that's what it would be. So no one wants it to go to purse bids because obviously we're most likely to win, and he's not going to get as much as he might get if we do a deal. So hopefully we'll do a deal. I believe we will. So fingers crossed.
How quickly could you think you can get this resolved then?
Could happen tonight. Who knows? I mean, this is moving so quickly. So much drama, so many twists, so many turns. Everything's changing every half an hour. So who knows? You'll be the first to know, my son.
Well, you definitely.
Oh, actually, no, the Daily Mail will be.
Why? Oh yeah. What's up with that? You turncoat. They done a tour of your house your Matchroom. I did that 3 years ago.
I know. And that was one of the most visited pages on their website, my column, I was quite pleased with it. It's a massive site, it's bigger than all the big American news sites, NBC and CNBC or whatever, and BBC, and it's bigger than all of those. So
Does that mean you're going to cut back with us a little bit?
No, don't be daft.
Oh yeah, I watched your interview with James yesterday, by the way. Yeah, thanks for throwing that out there. In LA.
That's right, mate. I'm just telling you how it is. Cookie Bear, the playboy in LA, living it large. How the others live. Would be nice to be you for a day.
Definitely. But listen, all right. Well, listen. Thanks for clarifying that situation, and I'll be back with you in Wales at the show for Reloaded next week, and everything will go back to normal.
Look forward to it, mate. Take care.
Thank you very much, Eddie Hearn. Cheers. Thank you.